as it might be September, but it is that time again, as it is the G1 Climax, the G1 Climax 30, the 30th annual G1 Climax. As what a fucking year it is to have the 30th anniversary, as it's waiting, All Japan's 40th anniversary is also this time, so both those anniversaries kind of getting shitted on, as thanks to COVID, we're here in September for the G1 Climax, as it's surprisingly enough, there is 10 per block, as was last year. So that's interesting to say the least, as we'll run through the blocks real quick. You already see them on their screen, but fuck it. Let's go through it anyways. It's Block A. We have Kurobushi, Jeff Cobb, Kazuchiko Kana, Domarishi, the man who should not be named, Shingo Takagi, Minoru Suzuki, Taichi, Jay White, and Yujiro Takahashi. Now you might be wondering, if you've been living under a rock and you're not hip with what's going on with the man who shall not be named, as you can probably see who it is, but he is a scummy piece of shit, a terrible human being, and he will, on this channel, I will not be reviewing or previewing any matches that involve him. It will just be the man who shall not be named, and then his opponent, as it sucks for his opponent, because, it's kind of hard to not talk about a match when he's involved, but I'll give it my damnedest here to, I wouldn't say be impartial, because I will be impartial, but just as far as anything involving him, it's a no-go for me. Not a fan of him personally, and I choose not to support him. If there's a way, if only, New Japan, they should have done the right thing, at least had a statement or something. Sure, they could have fired him, that would have been awesome, but they don't even make a statement about him, nothing. No repercussions, nothing. So he's still on New Japan, as ashamed as that is, as he should not be. As for the B block, Hiroshi Tanashi, Juice Robinson, Hiroki Goto, Toru Yano, Yoshihashi, Tetsuya Naito, Zack Sabre Jr., Kenta, and Evil. So with Minoru Suzuki back in the G1, first time he's been back in the G1 in 2 years. As far as whose place he's taking, you could say an AEW guy, probably. And then Yujiro Takahashi, he's taking Bad Luck Fale's spot, which, man, Fale has been, he was consecutive G1s for at least since he debuted, as Bad Luck Fale is like the underboss and kind of post Young Lion stage and whatnot. As for B block, you have Yoshihashi, who is making his return to G1 action, as he was not in last year's, but he was in the year before then, in 2018, as boy. just a boy. Sure, would it be great to have, like, i.e. John Moxley or even Jericho instead of Yoshihashi? Yes. But I'm happy about Minoru Suzuki, though. I thought Minoru Suzuki got screwed last year. Now, that was the big thing of Lance Archer's spot. That should have been Minoru Suzuki's. But then it turned out actually really great and was a career fucking defining G1 for Lance Archer, and I got him a big payday out of it at the end of the day. So good for him, but now Minoru Suzuki is back where he belongs. In this G1, Jeff Cobb's back. This is his second G1. I'm trying to think who else is in their second G1. Oh, Kenta's his second one. As boy, that was fun. It was a young, or not really just young, just new, no idea what he's gonna do, Kenta. But same thing with like John Moxley too. But now we already kind of know who everybody is. We have really no debuts. We have nobody new, which is fine by me. I think this G1 for New Japan, it is very needed after the kind of, I would say the breezy Summer Struggle show. Now this is where they can really solidify their roster, even make some new stars maybe. We'll have to see and how that goes. But as far as how we're going to do this, if you're new to the channel, this is the first time you're following New Japan, just like, this fucking Max Miles guy's doing a preview of the G1. I'll watch it. Thank you. Hello. As we are, what I do is I just get a little spreadsheet out and do my little thing here, as you have a little the standings here through the day. So this is the first day, and then you have your point system, which automatically does it when you go to your predictions, and I fill it out over here. And Well, now before we get to that, I guess you could have done it live if you're a crazy person, but obviously there would have been some going back and making sure you're right and you want to do it the right way and type of thing. But for this first night, it is Block A. Obviously, Block A usually kicks off the New Japan G1 Climax. As what a step back this was. Last year kicked it off the first ever U.S. block shows. It was there in Dallas. That Okada, Tanahashi. That was the first time they broke the draw streak. The Lance Archer, the man who should not be named. Before he was the man who should not be named, he actually had a name, but and now he has lost his name due to him being a son of a bitch. But they had a tremendous matchup. I'm trying to think what else was on that card. Fuck it. So we start off with the man who should not be named in Yujiro Takahashi. Obviously, as much as I would love to see Yujiro Takahashi get the win here, I do have to be impartial, and I think New Japan will give Will Ospreay. It was the man who shall not be named the win as Jeff Cobb and Tai Chi. I'm gonna give Tai Chi the win there. I think Tai Chi getting like a shitty little cheating win over Jeff Cobb, that'd be a fun way to have him start his G1 run. Domarishi, Minoru Suzuki. What a great fucking matchup that's going to be. As I'm going to give Ishii the win here as the new Never Openweight champion Minoru Suzuki. That's a future Never Openweight title match for sure. Have Ishii get the win and solidify that spot. As Shingo Takagi and Jay White. So, Jay White has really been really advertising this kind of his debut and his comeback. Or at least it was on New Japan Power and whatnot. Now he'll be here in New Japan as for the G1, and now he's lucky that he's not a part of the shit club that is in B Block with Evil and Kenta. And, now he can kind of be on his own. There's the other Bullet Club guy that's in there is Yujiro, but it's Yujiro, so he could kind of solidify his spot as the top guy in Bullet Club if with this type of G1 run here, as him and Shingo Takagi. That's a fun fucking matchup. Two kind of completely different styles, but I think if Jay White can, after he does his shitty, cheating heel Bullet Club tactics for the first 10, 15 minutes of the match, the last 5 minutes could be an absolute banger if he kind of keeps... He's not going to keep on pace with Shingo, because Shingo's just a whole nother animal, but he can kind of try to at least keep up with the pace. I think an awesome finish, counter the Pumping Bomber into the Blade Runner. That would be sick, and that would be a hell of an exclamation point. To get the win there, getting him his first 2 points of the tournament. And then the main event of night one, what a fucking main event this is. Kazuchiko Okada, Kota Ibushi, as, Kazuchiko, Kana, and Kota Ibushi, this was the kind of last night of, I believe it was Block A. Usually Okada's usually in Block A for some reason, I feel like, but Kazuchiko Okada and Kota Ibushi, which they had their, the final match at Ryogoku before they get into the finals, with Kota Ibushi getting the win and solidifying his spot to winning the Block A, then goes on to face Jay White in the finals, beats Jay White, wins the G1, which then, funny enough, they do the Ibushi and Naito, and then I think they did, and so, obviously, Wrestle Kingdom, and then they did, Okada, Naito, for all the marbles, as, for Ibushi, getting a match against Okada here, I think he's going to lose to Okada. Even though Okada is said to have taken a step back, I think, he's going to avenge that loss from last year's G1 against Ibushi here, getting the win. So now, as you see, the points, pretty simple to follow now, as we're just one night in. As for the first night of Block B, as we'll see, okay, Evil's name is going to get cut off, looks like. There we go. There we nailed it. So, Juice Robinson, Yoshihashi. Juice Robinson to get the win there. Spoiler alert, I don't think Yoshihashi's going to have a great night out there in the G1, but we'll see. As Toru Yano, Sonata. These two have kind of had some fun little antics together. I think Yano's going to get the win there by some shenanigans, just because it's Yano. Usually the first night he kind of gets some shenanigans and gets an upset win. But, you could have Sonata, Paradise Lock, fucking taping them and have a ring out win. You could go either way, but I'm going to go with Yano, the upset there, right off the rip. on the first night for Block B, rather, as Kenta and Hiroki Goto. What a fucking barn burner that will be, as Kenta, have him getting the win there. This could really go either way, but I think with Kenta, him winning the New Japan US not G1, the New Japan US kind of New Japan Cup, you could kind of carry that momentum they did in the United States, bring it here to Japan, have them get the win on the first Block B night, as then Zack Sabre Jr. and Evil. Man, I think this is going to be more of a cool down between Goto, Kenta, and then when we get to our main event with Evil and Zack Sabre Jr., Bullet Club, Suzuki Gun matchup, so you know the shenanigans will be there. Not really though for Zack Sabre Jr. He's not really a shenanigans guy though, but we'll see. Evil, him losing to obviously Naito the last time we saw him in singles action. So here, come back to the G1 and he gets the win on his first night against Zack Sabre Jr. Then Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Tetsuya Naito. Man, what a way to main event the first Block B show rather, as the first singles match between these two since 2017, which was to decide who would win Block A, which Naito won, and then he beat Omega in the finals that year. They have wrestled 13 times before this. Tanahashi's won 7, and Naito has won 6. So we could have Naito winning and making it 7-7, but we're gonna have Tanahashi get the win, making it 8-6. As man, obviously these two, when it's that whole 2017, you know, you have the Wrestle Kingdom 11 match with those two. Naito wins. What a fucking co-main event that was. You had, then they did the Dominion rematch, then the G1, so the 3 singles matches in 1 year. Now they've taken a break from that, and now in 2020 they get to face off in the G1. Perfect time for this. Plus, perfect time for Tanahashi Naito to have Tanahashi get the win, obviously with Naito being the double champion. Now that's the weird thing now. Obviously, in this, you know, the G1 stand in the, you know, throughout G1 history now, whenever a champion loses to somebody, they go on to have a title shot later on down the road. But now, because we're in September, those kind of title shots are going to be very, very few. Obviously, we're going to have Power Struggle. Then what the fuck are we going to do next? You know, because you have... This is going to end a week before my birthday, so that's October 24th. So it's going to end around October 18th, 16th, I believe. Somewhere around that time period. And you have... So the whole month of November, then relatively December, and then, you know, if they're going to do Wrestle Kingdom, which I'm assuming they're going to do Wrestle Kingdom. I know it hasn't been an official word of them not doing it, but I feel like there's also not been an official word of them doing it at the same time. But since obviously before COVID happened. As for Naito, you know, in his title defenses, this could be the year that the actual champion could win the G1. If there was going to be a year where they were going to do that, this would be the year to do it. Have Naito, you know, he had the shitty COVID happen to him during his reign, and now, you know, after all that COVID, loses the Evil, then he gets the belt back, and to have a nice G1 would be perfect for him. And this would be the year to do it. Have the champion win the G1 to let him pick his own his opponent for Wrestle Kingdom. If this is the year to do it, now would be the time. I would be completely 1,000% on board with that. As for, but I'm going to stick with Tanahashi getting the win here over Tetsuya Naito. I'd be happy either way, though. I'd be very happy either way. I think that's going to be a hell of a match, too. Obviously, these two, when they're together, it's fucking magic. As for the next night, for Block A, is the 23rd. Jeff Cobb and Shingo starting off. That's a hell of a match. We're going to give it to Jeff Cobb, though. Jeff Cobb getting his first win of the tournament there over Shingo. So Shingo's off to a bit of a rough start, 0-2. But, you know, still there's a lot. Listen, when Kenny Omega won the G1, his first night he lost to Yoshihashi. So, fingers fucking crossed. You just gotta sometimes hope and pray. Kazuchiko Kana versus Yujiro Takahashi. Yujiro Takahashi with the huge upset win. I think Bullet Club shenanigans are gonna take out Okada and he's gonna lose to Yujiro. I think I hope at least. I hope he gets rid of that modified $1 million dream for this tournament. Like kind of this, maybe halfway through it, kind of lets it go and just like I can't get any wins with that fucking modified. Because, like, let's say the first match, him and Ibushi, he wins with the Rainmaker and not with the Modified $1 Million Dream. He tries it here and he just can't get the job done thanks to interference and whatnot. And that's just kind of the story of the G1, is him getting away from that Modified $1 Million Dream and sticking with the Rainmaker and the Twisting Tombstone and whatnot. If it was me, obviously, this is what I would do. Geto is his own. To predict what Geto's going to do, it's a tough one, but I'm going to give it a shot. I think having a Bullet Club interference win by Yujiro, he's not going to get a lot of wins. You might as well have a major upset with Kazuchiko Kana. They've had history this year. Sure, was the match fantastic that they had at Dominion? No. But Okada, let's see if he's a man of his word. He says he doesn't want to be a part of the main event picture. This is not being a part of the main event picture. This is getting upset by Yujiro Takahashi. So, you got that for him. As Minoru Suzuki, Tai Chi, Suzuki Gun. You think Minoru Suzuki would get the win there? You just kind of, that'd be a given. Would be awesome if Tai Chi gets the win, but gives Minoru Suzuki his first win of the tournament. So there you go. And then Domarishi versus question marks as the man who shall not be named. Ishii getting the win there. That's his first win of the tournament. I think that's an easy one. That's a hell of a contrast of styles, though. As Kurobushi versus Jay White. What a main event. Again, Kurobushi, Jay White, the finals of last year now, here in the round robin block night, night 2 of A, as Bushi and Jay White. Jay White is going to avenge his loss from Kurobushi, and now Kurobushi is going to be off to an 0-2 start as Jay White gets the win, and he is off to a 2-0 start. The Switchblade coming in hot. I think that's the right thing to do, as Shingo's, poor Shingo's name's cut off there. Just looked over there on the graphic. As we're on the night 2 of Block B, as Hiroki Goto, Sonata. This could go either way again, as I'm going to give Goto the win there. Sonata off to a tough start, 0-2. Hiroshi Tanashi and Toru Yano. Tanahashi is 4-1 against Toru Yano in G1 matchups. That one loss was in 2011, which that is a fantastic G1 matchup that I adore dearly. I love it to death. One of my all-time favorite G1 matches of in the like block matches ever. Just a fantastic match. That was really the year Tanahashi became like a next level, like top of the world, like best in the world talent. It was really that year, in my opinion. He beats Kojima in January at Wrestle Kingdom. He goes on to this incredible run. It's a fantastic year. But that match, I just love that match to death. It's been 9 years now since that's happened, which, boy, it's a long-ass time, as Tanahashi, he doesn't really need it at this point. Given an upset win for Block B. We had the Block A upset with Yujiro beating Kazuchiko Kana. Now we have Block B, Toru Yano beating Hiroshi Tanahashi. Just be fun. It's Kenta and Juice Robinson, giving Kenta the win there. Again, carrying that momentum of winning the U.S. Cup, I'm just going to call it. Then Yoshihashi and Evil, obviously Evil there. And Tetsuya Naito, Zack Sabre Jr. Obviously these two, the year Zack Sabre Jr. won the New Japan Cup, Naito was one of those guys who lost to Zack Sabre Jr. during that run. So I feel like that might have been the last time they had a singles match. I should have looked up the stats of that match, but I did not. But nonetheless, Naito gets the win after losing to Tanahashi on the first night. As for in the setting, the standings rather, but I said settings. So the standings so far, obviously 2 nights in, Toru Yano with 4 points. He's 2-0. Kenta's 2-0 with 4 points, and Evil's 2-0 with 4 points. As for the third night now for Block A, as we have Taichi and Yujiro. Taichi getting the win there. That's going to be a fun little, just who's going to be the shittiest human being between those two battle. As Jeff Cobb and Minoru Suzuki. Jeff Cobb getting the win there. Jeff Cobb, a never open weight title match in the future for him with that one. That's just kind of where my thought process was there. Kurobushi and Domarishi. Man, I think it was last year. It might have been 2 years ago. I'm just going to say it was last year when they just beat the fuck out of each other. And, it was violent. It was not even brutal. It was violent to the point where it was like, oh my fucking god, someone's gonna die. Like that type of level of intensity. Hopefully they don't do that here. Hopefully they've learned not to take it to that level, but we shall see. Kurobushi, though, getting the win. His first win of the tournament. A tough win, nonetheless, against Domarishi. As then the man who should not be named, Shingo Takagi, the rematch from 2 years ago, the Best Super Juniors finals, as a previous match of the year. As now it's a match I'm not really excited about because the man who should not be named is in it. But if Shingo Takagi wins it, hooray! Hip hip hooray! As he started off 0-2, now it's the feud with Ospreay. Well, not really a feud, the match with Ospreay. He avenges that loss and he beats. Or I said it. No, I said the man. The man should not be named. That's gonna be so hard. Gotta get used to it. But Shingo getting the win over the man who should not be named, avenging that Best Super Juniors finals loss. And then he gets his first win of the G1, as we will bump it down. There we go. Now you see it. As the 2 points there for Shingo Takagi. And then Kazuchiko Okada, Jay White. Obviously two men who are not strangers of each other. And this is just a huge pivotal match, obviously, for Jay White. He would be coming in that match 2-0. Kazuchika Okada would be coming into that match after the loss to Yujiro. You could go either way with this, but I'm going with Jay White. I'm going Jay White getting the win over Kazuchika Okada in a big win, making him now 3-0. If there's going to be a guy to stop Jay White on this 2-0 run, it would be Kazuchika Okada. It's kind of prime for Okada to win there. But we're going to go the opposite way with it. We're going to give Jay White the win. As now he is leading Block A. Only 3 nights in, though. As for the next night. As the next, I believe, 2 nights are in Cork and Hall. Let's see. There we go. Perfect. As, oh no. Let's see. There we go. We're just going to have to cut it off for a little bit there. As Yoshihashi and Sonata opens up. We're going to give Sonata the win there. Quickly into Zack Sabre Jr. and Kenta. Which... what a matchup that is. Bullet Club, Suzuki Gun. I always love those types of matchups. I'm not sure why the Bullet Club, Suzuki Gun kind of tandems. As because they never really had any type of matches before. Any pivotal matches before. But nonetheless, we have... I think Kenda's going to keep the winning going. If there's going to be someone, it's... it's Zack Sabre Jr. having 0 points by this point. That is pretty nuts. He'd be 0-3. That is kind of crazy. But we'll keep Kenta winning there. That's just what I'm sticking with. Even though I feel like Zack Sabre Jr. probably, in the real G1, would get the win over that one, over Kenta. But I just got a feeling. I don't know. I just feel like Kenta's going to go on a tear to start it off. Juice Robinson and Hiroshi Tanahashi. That'd be a fun upset, and I went with it. Juice Robinson getting the win over Hiroshi Tanahashi there, giving him his second win. Tanahashi now will only have 2 points at this point. I feel like Tanahashi being being in the tag scene. I wasn't going to say tag champion, but not at this point now, as they lost at the Summer Struggle show in Jinju Stadium. But Tanahashi is at this point, you gotta think of his age. You gotta think of, do they really need him to be at the top of the G1? Not really, but obviously it's still very early. We're not even in October yet. Sure, he's got 2 points, but, fucking 4 wins and he's got 10. Just like that, and it's something to where it could definitely happen too. And so Juice Robinson getting an upset over Tanahashi. So Tanahashi also kind of going on the trend of Okada. It's kind of weird how they've polar opposite stories, or not really... parallel stories, rather, not polar opposites. Parallel stories of, losing in the upset and then losing in a big matchup. Well, not really. This is another upset, though, for Tanahashi, so it's not really like the Okada Jay White scenario. As Toru Yano and Evil getting the win there over Toru Yano, stopping Yano's reign, and Evil getting his third win, as he is now 3-0. As then Hiroki Goto and Tetsuya Naito giving Hiroki Goto the win. The last time Hiroki Goto beat Tetsuya Naito in a singles match was at Wrestle Kingdom 10. Naito is 3-2 against Goto in G1s. We're making this 3-for-3 now. Having Hiroki Goto get the win. It's in Cork and Hall. What a fun way to end the first night in Cork and Hall. Having Goto pin the fucking IWGP Heavyweight Champion. The IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Champion. As I feel like they're gonna fuck Goto in this. They're gonna have him beat Naito, and then they'll have him face Naito for the Intercontinental title, and he'll beat Naito, but then Naito will win and keep his heavyweight title. I just got a feeling. I don't know why. That now just popped in my head. I didn't had planned that out beforehand, but I think that's really what they're gonna go for. As in Cork and Hall again for as you see there on the standings, so far leading Block B is Kenta and Evil, as the Bullet Club is reigning supreme so far. As the last night of September and the last night in Korakuen Hall, it's Night A, Minoru Suzuki, Yujiro Takahashi. Easy win for Minoru Suzuki there. Kurobushi and Jeff Cobb. That's a fun kind of... That'd be a fun-ass match, especially in Korakuen Hall. Jeff Cobb doing moonsaults, trading moonsaults with Ibushi. That's a fun... What a fun world we live in, where that's a thing. But Ibushi's going to get the win now. I feel like, now the Ibushi, he went 0 for 2, and now he's going to go 2 for 2. And he's going to go into October with 4 points. Kazuchiko, Okada, and Tai Chi. Okada getting the win over Tai Chi there, as that's going to be a fun ass match. I can't wait for that. 2 of my favorites going to battle, as in the man who should not be named versus Jay White. Who's going to stop Jay White? It's going to be, unfortunately, the man who shall not be named, and he's going to get his second win of the tournament over Jay White. That's a hell of... I'm surprised that's not the main, but this is a hell of a main nonetheless. Listen, you want to talk about a beef fest? Shingo Takagi, Domarishi, Shingo Takagi getting the win. Much like Kurobushi. Start out 0-2. Now he finishes September 2-2. So, we're going into October. So, it's a very tight-knit race for Block A. But Jay White is leading with 6. Poor Domarishi only got 2 points. But listen, it's still early. As for now, we're in October 1st. Let's see, there we go. As this is the same exact opener of the part of the G1 tour last year. So, obviously it's different dates, but the kind of the fourth Block B show, this was the opener. Juice Robinson and Toru Yano. I think Juice Robinson's going to get the win there, just to make it 6 points for him. As Hiroki Goto and Zack Sabre Jr. Zack Sabre Jr. finally on the board. He gets his first win of the tournament as he taps out, I'm assuming, Hiroki Goto with that one. As Hiroshi Tanahashi and Hiroshi Tanahashi getting the win. There we go. There's the ace getting a win there. Yoshihashi, 0 points as Kenta and Evil. Again, this is kind of what a fun kind of co-main and main. You have Bullet Club. You have LIJ. Went with Kenta getting the win over Evil to kind of have some tension going. So Kenta keeps his winning ways going. I feel like that's going to be... I feel like I'm going to get that right the most, having Kenta and Evil be undefeated at this point. I think that's going to be a point that's going to follow in the actual G1 that Geto's booking as, Kenta Evil. That's going to be a fun little match as far as, dynamic in the crowd. Because there's 2 heels. You got to cheer for someone. Are you going to cheer for the Noah guy? Or are you going to cheer for the turncoat? Who you going with, crowd? Can't wait to see. Hopefully you go with Kenta, though. Fingers crossed. Tetsuya Naito and Sonata, as Sonata getting a win over Naito would be... I don't see it happening. If they didn't do it with Shingo, I don't think they should do it with Sonata. If they were going to do it, it would have been Shingo last year. But whenever you have the leader and the not leader of the stable beating the leader, it's very rare that happens. Very, very rare occasions. I can know one, off the top of my head, I know one that happened. That was 4 years ago, and we'll talk about it because it's a match that's happening in this G1. But it's a very rare occasion. But Naito, too. Naito, I think, is just going to have a great G1. I just got a great feeling about it. Kenta, though, is leading Block B. Juice Robinson and Evil second, and then everybody else kind of following suit. As now we get a 4-day break onto October 5th. For Block A, as Shingo Takagi, Yujiro. Shingo getting an easy win there. Jay White, Jeff Cobb. Jay White with a somewhat easy win. Kazuchiko, Kana, Minoru Suzuki. I love when these two go to battle. Minoru Suzuki, gonna give him the slight nod there. As Okada, again, if Okada's serious about this, who knows? It sucks because guys like Kojima, guys like Hanma, guys like Makabe, the veteran guys aren't getting those send-offs anymore of G1 send-offs that I fucking loved and adore whenever it was promoted as this is his last G1. It's a goddamn shame because I felt like those were great parts of the G1. I'm thinking of Tenzan's and especially Yuji Nagata's. Yuji Nagata's was one of the best final runs we'll ever see, and it's if that was the last one, that's a hell of a last one to go off on. But I just feel like they're wasting a lot of precious moments for a lot of those guys. Those guys who've sacrificed a lot, who've been a part of the, especially not just a part of New Japan, but just a part of the business for the past 20, 30 years. And I feel like they deserve that type of send off too. And it's a show of respect. But if that is his last G1, if this is, Minoru Suzuki's last G1, I think him beating Okada would be a great way to just be like, yep, there you go, type of send-off for him. But him getting the win, that's huge for Minoru Suzuki, as he'll have 6 points. Domarishi and Taichi, that's a fun-ass matchup. They always have great matches together. Ishii's going to get the win, though, I think, and giving him 4 points. As I'm cool with either way, though. As Kurobushi and the man who should not be named, gonna give it to Kurobushi. Kurobushi, obviously they had the Wrestle Kingdom match for the Never Openweight title, and Ospreay won that. I believe that's the last, that was the last singles match they had. Off the top of my head, again, that was probably another one I should have researched, but Ibushi avenging that loss at least and beating Will Ospreay. Shit. Son of a bitch. Beating the man who should not be named. As, if I was smart, I would, edit all the times I fuck up, but I'm not going to. Let's just keep it in there. It's just hilarious. As, so far, Block A, Jay White winning with 8 points. Ibushi and Minoru Suzuki with 6, and Shingo Takagi. And then, a lot of people with 4, and then poor Yudro only with 2. As for October 6th, as it's another Block B show. As, again, just like it was a couple of shows ago, this was the exact same opener that was part of the G1 tour last year. Hiroki Goto, Toru Yano open up the show. Goto is 3-1 versus Yano, as far as just kind of as a whole in singles matches. As I think we'll keep that to 4-1, and Hiroki Goto getting the win over Toru Yano. Zack Sabre Jr. and Sonata. Sonata is 2-0 against Zack Sabre Jr. in G1s. However, Zack Sabre Jr. in overall singles matches, including non-G1 matches, is 3-2 overall. You could go 3-3 here. Nonetheless, though, this is going to be a great fucking matchup. One of my favorite fucking combinations of guys. It's probably Dragon Lee, Hiromu 1, and then Sonata, Zack Sabre Jr. 2. We'll talk about them later, but we'll talk about the third later on in this video. But, just talking about fantastic matchups, fantastic chemistry. They're tremendous against each other, and it's a phenomenal match every time they wrestle against each other. Very much looking forward to it. But Zack Sabre Jr. getting the win, though, getting 4 points for Zack Sabre Jr. Sonata with 2 points. So either way, someone's going to have 2 points walking out of last night. I felt like, let's give it to Zack Sabre Jr. As Juice Robinson and Evil, with Juice upsetting Hiroshi Tanahashi, don't think he'd upset Evil there. So then you have Evil getting the win with 8 points. I just feel like Evil's going to do strong on this, He usually always does, but now with his, now fucking double champ reign, I feel like he's going to be even extra strong as Naito and Yoshihashi. Obviously, Naito getting the easy win there. But they've had good matches, I believe it was 2 years ago, might have been last year. They had a tremendous kind of B-show feud that I enjoyed. But, again, Naito's going to get the win. Hiroshi Tanahashi and Kenta. So last year, Kenta beat him. This year, though, I think Tanashi's going to beat him. Again, this was a dream match last year with, the Noah Ace, or not really the Noah Ace, but the best guy I know and the best guy in New Japan was talked about. This is a match that was talked about a decade ago on message boards, and now we got to see it last year. Now we see it again this year in the G1. And that one, think it's going to be even more amped up. I think a heel like Bullet Club Shitty Kenta gets over with the New Japan audience. I think that's even going to be a heightened fucking excited crowd. As now, Kenta and Evil, Kenta's got the tiebreaker win, so he's technically first and Evil a second. Then you have Tanahashi, Naito, and Juice and Goto with 6 points, and Zack Sabre Jr. and Yano with 4, Sonata with 2, and Yoshihashi with 0 in October 6th. Going on to the 7th for the Block A show, as we have Domarishi, Yujiro, easy win for Ishii there, as gets his 6th point. It's Kazuchiko Okada and Jeff Cobb. That's an easy win for Okada. That's a 6 point for Okada. As then the man who should not be named, Minoru Suzuki. What a contrast of styles. As I think it'd be fun to have Minoru Suzuki just stretch the fuck out of him and make him tap. So that's what I went with, Suzuki getting the win there. I'm sure the real G1 Geto will have him win because they don't care that he's a piece of shit. But I care that he's a piece of shit. I want him to get the shit kicked out of him for. It's Taichi and Jay White. Taichi with the upset win. I feel like that's a great upset win for Jay White, or for Taichi rather, over Jay White. As that's a fun ass match. Who's going to be the biggest dickhead between those two? I think Taichi will be. As that's going to be fun now. The main event: Kurobushi and Shingo Takagi. Holy fuck! What a fucking match that is going to be. Probably the match I'm most looking forward to out of this whole tournament. Can't fucking wait. It's going to be awesome, and I think Shingo Takagi will get the win, as now it's a 3-man tie for first. Minoru Suzuki, how about that? With Jay White and Shingo Takagi. Man, oh man. What a fucking 3-way tie that is for Block A. As we're going into now. I think that's... Evil will get cut off, fuck it. As for Hiroki Goto, Yoshihashi, obviously Hiroki Goto, easy win for him. Toru Yano, Zack Sabre Jr. Gonna give Zack Sabre Jr. the win on that one. Feel like that was probably the easiest way about it, as he gets his 6th point. Kenta Sonata. Gonna give Sonata the upset win. Finally, someone stops Kenta. I think it's Sonata. I think that'd be a fun win for him. Gives him a nice little added little jolt to him. As Juice Robinson, Tetsuya Naito, they've had fun matches in the past. If this was any other G1, I'd be like, maybe he's got a shot. But I think with this year, it being a shortened defense kind of, or at least shorter window for title matches for Tetsuya Naito, I don't think it's going to happen. As Hiroshi, Tanashi, and Evil. This is a huge match for Evil. If he gets the win over Hiroshi Tanahashi, that is a fucking superstar-making matchup and a superstar-making win. It'll be, he'll join Jay White as one of the kind of few exclusive people to beat Tanahashi and Okada in G1s. Now, obviously, Jay White did a fucking back-to-back, too, nonetheless, but having a ginormous kind of win over Tanahashi would be great here, but I think Tanahashi will show him that the ace has got some fighting fucking spirit still. I think feel like Geto is smart enough to be like, listen, he's one of our top draws. We just can't push him down the hill yet. He's still got another year in him. But that's the thing, though. At what point will they start going in that direction where it's like, alright, Tanahashi's not going to be a part of this? Because, man, just last year, he was having match of the year candidates. And he still probably will for the next, probably another 5 years. I think he's that talented. He's literally once in a generational talent. He has that ability, he has that psychology, and he just can do it. Just as long as his body can withstand it, is really the question. But I think he's going to get the win there, to making it a fucking 5-man tie for first place. Hiroki Goto with 8 points, Tanahashi with 8 points, Kenta with 8, Naito with 8, and Evil with 8. What a fucking barn burner midway through the tournament there, standings. Some big-ass names. And some names that respectively should be looking outside that window. Zack Sabre Jr., Juice Robinson, Sonata, Toru Yano, and then Yoshihashi, still 0 points. As to the next October 10th show, Block A show, Jeff Cobb, Domarishi, what a fucking crazy opener that is. As that might be, I wouldn't say sleeper-like match of the night, because there is some great fucking matchups on this card. But it's going to be a hell of a match, that is for sure, and I'm going to give Jeff Cobb the win there. Jeff Cobb making him with 6 points. Either way, that can go either way, though. That's a 50-50 match. Jay White and Yujiro Takahashi. Man, Bullet Club. I don't see... What a fun match that's going to be, though. That's going to be a fun, shenanigans, fill-in time. That's going to be a fun match to do. Especially after... That's going to be a great cool-down from Ishii Cobb when they beat the fuck out of each other. But I think Jay White's going to get the win there. The man who shall be named in Taichi... That'd be a fun match if, the man who should not be named would have been a piece of shit, but he is, so now it's just like, But I think the man who should not be named, I think they'll give him the win. As I think that's a mistake, and they should give it to Taichi. But I'm going with what Geto's probably going to go with there. As Kurobushi Minoru Suzuki, I think Ibushi's going to get the win. I don't see Minoru Suzuki. He doesn't need that win. Bushi, I think, is going to get the win there. And then, talking about the second match I'm most looking forward to seeing. Kazuchiko Okada and Shingo Takagi one-on-one. That's going to be fucking awesome. Awesome beyond the shadow of a doubt. If it was Kazuchika Okada last year before he was obsessed with his modified $1 million dream, it probably would have been number 1 on my list. But because he is so obsessed with that fucking move, I'm going to put it at 2. But again, this would be another fun match for Shingo to win. You know, with him beating Ibushi, I don't see him beating Kazuchika Okada either. He can't beat them both, I think. They're, in my opinion, 1 and 2 in this block with as far as name value guys. So we're going to give Okada the win there over Shingo Takagi, making them 8 points for that night. You know, we have Jay White with 10, then 4 people in second with Kurobushi, Minoru Suzuki, Kazuchika Okada, and Shingo with 8 points. Taichi, Jeff Cobb, Ishii with 6, and the man that should not be named, and then Yujiro with 2. As on to the 11th for the Block B show, as Evil's just going to get his name cut off. As Yoshihashi, Zack Sabre Jr. again, that's going to be another easy win for Zack Sabre Jr. Poor Yoshihashi. Still got 0. As Toru Yano and Kenta, I feel like this is a fun upset for Kenta to take. You know, he lost to Sonata, and then he loses to Toru Yano back-to-back to kind of shorten his run. But that's an awesome win for Yano, making him with 6 points. Juice Robinson, Sonata, this is a 50-50 one, but I think Sonata needs to win more. At that point, he'd be going in with 4 points if this is how it goes. And Juice would already have 6, so that'd just make him having 6. Tanashin and Goto. Man, I feel like it's been a hot-ass minute since we've seen those two one-on-one. Since obviously Tanashi was an A block last year. Man, I mean, it's been at least 2 years since they've had a singles match. And Goto, he beats Naito, and he's going to beat Tanahashi. Talk about a big-ass G1 for Hiroki Goto. A man who could desperately use it. And as a guy that can maybe jolt. That's the thing, though, with Goto. A lot of people are kind of just calling him the bridesmaid, never a bride. It's COVID. It's a different G1. You're not going to have so many shots of this. Might as well give him a hell of a G1 run. As Tanahashi, you could go either way. I think it's really 50-50. Either way, you'd have Tanahashi with 10 points here, or Hiroki Goto with 10 points. I went with Goto with 10 points. And then Naito and Evil, the rematch, giving Naito the win. I think if it was any other G1, they would just flip-flop and have Evil get the win again. But if I was Goto, I would want to solidify that upset at Dominion was an upset, and that wasn't just like Evil could have him on his same level. Now it's kind of weird to kind of say, but I think Naito is a step above Evil, in my opinion, and that should be solidified with this match here and him winning. And so now Naito and Goto, 10 points. With Goto has the fucking tiebreaker over him, so he's technically in the lead. Have a lot of people in third place with 8 points. Zack Sabre Jr., Tanahashi, Kenta, and Evil. Yano and Sonata with 6, and Juice with 6, and Yoshihashi with 0. As for the 13th, as I wonder if that's a Friday. As if not, everybody watch and be careful. As question marks, the man who shall not be named versus Jeff Cobb. I feel like it would be smarter if Jeff Cobb got the win there, but I feel like the office would give it to the man who should not be named. It's Kurobushi and Yujiro. I think that's an easy win for Ibushi there. Shingo Takagi and Taichi. What a fun fucking matchup that would be. As that's a never open weight match written all over it. As man oh man. Shingo getting the win there, giving him 10 points. Reaches double digits, which last year I think he finished with 8. So now you see the jump already. I feel like Shingo has taken that jump and should take that leap into that type of exclusive category. As Minoru Suzuki, Jay White, gonna give it to Jay White. This would have been Bullet Club Suzuki gun leaders going at it, but God, who only knows who's the Bullet Club leader now. But the main event, when talking about Hiromu and Dragon Lee, talking about Sonata and Zack Sabre Jr., my third favorite matches, in kind of rivalry, even though it's not really a rivalry. Kazuchiko, Kana, and Domarishi. Their last time they faced off in a G1 was 2016, and that is an all-time G1 matchup. That match is so fucking awesome. Was the match of the year for me that year. Was fan-fucking-tastic. As far as overall, and records for these two men, Kazuchiko Kada is 3-1 against Domarishi. But I think after this night, he's going to be 3-2, as Domarishi is going to beat him again like he did 4 years ago. And he gets the win, making him his 8th point in the tournament, tying Kazuchiko Kada at this point. As what a hell of a main event that is. I can't fucking wait. I love those. Those two make fucking magic. As for the next night, October 14th, as we're almost towards the end now, as we have Yoshihashi and Kenta getting the win, making it 10 points for Kenta. He hits double digits. I feel like that makes sense, as I misspelled Zack Sabre Jr.'s name bigger than shit. I hit L instead of K on my keyboard there, as Juice and Zack Sabre Jr. I feel like they always have, that's a fun, mid-card match there, as Juice gets the win, giving him 8 points, tying him with Zack. Toru Yano and Naito, as, man, this could be definitely spoiler run for Yano. If he does not get one of those upsets I predicted, this could definitely be one of them. This is prime. This is right before they go to Ryogoku for that final night before the finals. This is a big upset moment, but I think Naito is going to win and keep his 12 points there, and then Goto and Evil. Talk about a big-time matchup. So you could go either way. You could really go Evil over this. So let's say this. Alright, let's say we had Goto, Naito, and then we had Naito, Evil. We still had Goto beating Naito, and Naito does beat Evil. If Evil beats Goto here, they would have 10, and Goto would have 10. It would really fit, and Naito would have 12. So he would be leading into the final night. And if he has to win, and that whole thing. But I went with Goto getting the win. Let's solidify that this motherfucker, this is his G1. Let's do it. But I think G1, the real G1, I think Goto is going to stick with Evil here. I think he's going to have Evil win, give him 10 points there. Wouldn't be surprised if Evil finishes with 12. I don't think he should, but I think the office has always been very high on Evil. Might as well have him look strong in this G1. But let's give it to Goto, I think, in that one. But Hiroshi, Tanashi, and Sonata. I've always said Sonata was alt-timeline Tanahashi, especially when he had the mohawk. I always loved when these two wrestled. They are 2-2 in singles matches. They were 1-1 in G1s. Last year, Tanahashi beat him. And I think he's going to beat him this year to break the streak, making it break the tie rather, as making it 3-2 for Tanahashi, and that gives him 10 points. It wouldn't be a G1 unless Tanahashi gets 10 points in a G1. It just wouldn't happen. He's the fucking ace. He will always be the ace. He will always finish very high in the bracket. As that is now on to the first night of Ryogoku and the final night for Block A, October 16th. As Jeff Cobb and Yujiro. Jeff Cobb gets the win. So Yudro finishes with 2. Jeff Cobb finishes with 8. He finished with 6 last year. Give him an extra win for this year. Kurobushi and Taichi. Taichi gets the win. Upset over Kurobushi. Ibushi finishes with 10. Taichi finishes with 8. You could have Ibushi get the win to kind of set up. They have a tag match. Tanahashi and Zack. Because that's what's kind of fun about this. You have Tanahashi and Ibushi, or you have Tanahashi taking on Zack Sabre Jr. the next night, you'll see, and then you have Ibushi and Taichi facing off. So that's kind of, obviously it is, reasons behind that. Obviously they've been feuding for pretty much the whole entire summer, as from Dominion into Summer Struggle, and I feel like they're going to feud even in December, and they'll have another fucking tag title match, or even have a tag title match at fucking Wrestle Kingdom and they beat them there. But either way, I went with Taichi getting the win. They could split it, but as you'll see, I went with Bullet Club, or not Bullet Club, I went with Suzuki Gun getting the wins over Tanashin and Ibushi. That was smart. That was very smart of Geto. Tip of the cap to Geto. As Shingo Takagi ignores Suzuki, Shingo gets the win there. You know, he lost to Suzuki at the Summer Struggle Jinju Stadium show. He avenges that loss. He beats him. Finishes with 12 fucking points. Suzuki with 8. I think that's respectable. You know, if this is his last G1, that's a hell of a, 8 is a great number to have. It's not perfect, but it's a fine number. It's a fine number. But Shingo with 12, I just feel like that's awesome. Domarishi and Jay White. Jay White gets the win. Huge win over Domarishi. I just don't see Ishii beating Jay White. I would love that. I would love that more than anything. I think Geto in the office has given up on Ishii being any type of contender or any type of, that's why I have him with 8 here. I feel like he should get 10 to 12 every year. He's probably the greatest G1 block, round robin, actual tournament wrestler that has ever lived. He's just, the amount of fucking block matches he's had that have been fantastic. His matches with Shibata, his matches with Goto, his matches with Omega, his matches with Okada. I mean, obviously it takes 2 to tango, but those matches, and Ibushi, he's just had phenomenal matches with some of the top talent guys, and it's a shame, but it is what it is. But Jay White gets the win there with 14 points, and then the man who shall not be named versus Kazuchiko Okada. So here's the thing here, and the thing that I've really fucked up. Obviously, it comes down to how the brackets work. So I'm assuming Ishii Jay White would probably be the main event, but it's really tough, because usually the last night it's the excitement levels of it. Because if you know going in that Jay White has just won the Block A, and that's the co-main event, it kind of doesn't make sense. So that's why I feel like either the man who should not be named or Okada's going to have 12 points going into that. But I went with Okada getting the win, beating the man who should not be named, just because I just don't want the man that should not be named to have more than double-digit points. But I feel like he's going to, and I think that's going to be a terrible mistake. New Japan office, get your shit together. You gotta not let this man. Can't book him. You just can't fucking book him. He is. I feel like he's worse than Elgin. And fucking Elgin was a scumbag human being. And I feel like he's worse than him. But that could just be me. He could be, it's a whole nother topic. But I just don't, he should not be anywhere close to that. But I don't know. The more I'm looking at that, I feel like that's not how that's going to go. Because you have to care about, the main event going into that. Because I guess you could have Ishii and Jay White as the main and just kind of flip that. But not, it's just, I don't. Either way. We have, I still think Shingo's the run-up's a great idea, as you see. Went a little too far. He gets 12, Jay White with 14. So Jay White wins Block A. Shingo wins the runner-up position, I guess. But for the last night, October 17th, last night, Block B ended out the, what a fucking main and co-main this is, by the way, as ending it, well, not really ending in Ryogoku, because the finals is going to be in Ryogoku too, but, Toriyano Yoshihashi, it's only right. Yoshihashi gets his first win of the tournament. It took him a month, but he got it. He gets the win over Toriyano. Juice Robinson, Hiroki Goto. I feel like Goto gets the win there, as making him 14 points, as you see. So now it comes down to, Tanahashi, Zack Sabre Jr. give Zack the win there. Give him 10 points. So Tanahashi and Zack Sabre Jr., they get 10. So here's the thing. You got Sonata and Evil. If Evil would have won against Goto there, you could have... Oh, let's scroll down a little bit more there. There we go. Then Evil would be in prime position to be upset by Sonata there, and he'd finish with 12, and Sonata would finish with 8, which that actually makes more sense now that I'm talking about it out loud. As then... you know what? We're going to fucking, we're doing this on the fly, everyone. Evil there. As, so I've changed my decision. Goto is losing to Evil now. And then down here, we're gonna have Sonata upset Evil. Naito. So now we have this. So Sonata is going to beat Evil. Upset there. You have Tetsuya Naito and Kenta. So now, Naito wins. He goes on to Block B. And he'll take on Jay White. Kenta now. If Kenta wins, here's the... Because now we got to look back to Kenta and Goto, which I believe we had Kenta winning. Let's go back to that. See if I can scroll back and see it. Yeah, there it is. Yes. Let's see. September 20th. I got to scroll up for you. Okay. So then Kenta wins that. So, Kenta, by beating Tetsuya Naito and having Sonata Evil, Sonata upsetting him, that now means that this gets flipped. We get Kenta and Hiroki Goto. We get that. We get Bullet Club versus Bullet Club in the main. I think that's a lot more enticing than Goto Jay White. I'm a fan of that. I'm really a fan of that. And we're going to give Jay White the G1 Climax win. He was the runner-up last year. He wins it this year. Man, that I really enjoy that. I know this is kind of... I'm sure everyone's kind of tired of Bullet Club being a part of the main picture. But I think this is the perfect way to do it. This is the perfect way to kind of blow off everything. Because you can either have Evil... Now, here's the crazy thing. You could have Evil help Kenta, or you can have him help Jay White to kind of see where that allegiance is, and you could kick somebody out of Bullet Club. Man, like that's that's an intriguing finals, because that can go either way. You could do the rematch with Naito with him and Kenta, or you could do obviously Jay White and fucking Naito, which leader of Bullet Club, leader of LIJ. You'd have Evil with Bullet Club. There's this whole fucking, the wrapping of the stories and doing LIJ Bullet Club in the finals. I like it. We'll see if Geto agrees with me, as we are 54 long minutes in. And we have talked about the G1 Climax 2020, the 30th ever G1 Climax. Hope you all enjoyed the video, as I hope you guys are excited for the G1 as I am. So, as you've made it this far, then you are a true supporter of the channel, and you're a true fan of what I have to say, or just you want to hear my insights or whatever. As I'll scroll down a little bit. There we go. As this will be the first time on the channel that I won't be doing daily breakdowns of the reviews of the shows, because when I will be spending, usually, what I do is I spend my weekends with the future Mrs. Marvelous, as I can't record there, can't bring all my setup there, just to kind of not be rushing back to my house just to record videos, because I'm going to watch them with her, which that's going to be fun. I hope that goes as well as me showing her Pride and UFC stuff, because that was a lot of fun. Yeah, showing her micro close-up head kicks. That's when she's the one. She's like, yeah, I'll watch this Croatian killer head kick people to death. Like, that's when you know that she's the one. But and also when she thinks that Bob Sapp is the best thing in the whole goddamn world. That was probably what topped it though. But because Bob Sapp's fucking awesome. God bless Bob Sapp. He should be in this G1 Climax. So yeah, there will be no daily reviews of the days, of the each block show. As much as I would love to, I am going to be watching them though, keeping track and whatnot. Because I could post my review on the Monday and Tuesday, but it's just, it'd be all out of whack by the time it really gets gone. Plus the TW content, plus got so much content going on. There's just so much content going on. We got the N1 Victory preview tomorrow. As you'll be watching this, hopefully you saw the CWA, the Go Home show, the CWA for on TW 2020. As I have no idea what I'm going to book on that card, as I'm recording this before that, so that's fun. Got to figure that out. But thank you all for watching, as my voice is shot to shit. As we will catch you guys next time, as we're talking about the N1 victory tomorrow. Then it will be a long-ass time before you hear from me in New Japan about any New Japan stuff. As, yeah, I will catch you guys later. Take care, everyone.